Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inspiring Generations podcast with Dr. Colito. And I am joined today again with Josie McRoberts, our fellow here. And she has some awesome information to share with us today about brain dumping. This is something that's been around for a long time, but it doesn't get a whole lot of attention. So this is so exciting for you to be able to share this article that you wrote for us on our blog on brain dumping. So why don't you start out by telling us what exactly is brain dumping?
So brain dumping is basically an exercise that is used to manage anxiety, stress, and help you feel more focused. And the process of doing so is really simple. All you do is write down all your thoughts on a piece of paper. Most of the time it's in a form of a bullet point list, but basically you just write down things that you're stressed about or deadlines that you have and like to-do lists, and it just helps declutter your mind.
And it's, again, just like you said, decluttering your mind. It's a way just to get everything out. And if people think about how stressed they may be at the end of the day, thinking about a bunch of different things, what do you have to do tomorrow? What did you forget to do? Getting it out does just as you said. It helps you manage that anxiety and stress. I know when I go to bed at night, I have so much on my mind and it drives me crazy. Yeah. So brain dumping is an awesome tool for that. So let's talk a little bit, like you mentioned already, like the anxiety and stress and being more focused, but what are some of the other health benefits?
I think a great health benefit would really just to be feeling more focused, feeling more productive. I think it can be a great tool for managing anxiety for those with anxiety, just writing out all the thoughts that are consuming you. Also just having a better attitude, less swirling thoughts in your head, just more productive, more happy.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you on that. And there's other benefits, not just the health benefits, but even for yourself as a college student, it could be used as a study tool as well. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
So brain dumping is great to use before and during your study session. It's nice to use it before your study session just to declutter your mind a little bit, get ready to study, get focused, and really just clear your mind of everything else that's in your head that's not related to your subject. And then while you're studying, it's great to write down everything that you know about a certain subject. So if you have a math test, write down everything you remember about the unit and then refer back to it. And this really calls upon the retrieval of information, which reinforces your learning.
I love that. And I think about when I was going through my bachelor's program, how I would forget things immediately when I left the class, right? Now I'm not going to age myself. But if I really understood this concept and this was something that was prevalent when I was going to school, that's definitely something that I would have used as a tool as soon as I would have gotten out of a class, right? After a class was dismissed, just to be able to make sure that I retained all that information. And if there was a hole or something that wasn't quite there that I didn't understand, that would have been a perfect opportunity to follow up with my instructors. So this is super, super helpful for anyone who is in college, but it can also be used in the classroom. So tell us a little bit more about that. And then I will pull up a graphic as well to share with everybody.
Awesome. So brain dumping can also be used as like a classroom activity. So if you're an educator or a teacher and you are giving a lesson, it can be really helpful to just pause and have your students write down everything that they remember from what you were just teaching them. And then you can see where the gaps are, what students aren't understanding, and like what students do understand, which can really help organize your students' learning and really just gauge where they are at.
Absolutely. And there's, we call it brain dumping, but there's another name for it in schools, and it's called sketch note taking, which is really nice. And it really, I know you had mentioned a lot of times it's a bullet point format, but this sketch note taking really kind of takes on its own form. It can be very artistic, and it's just, again, a way to get thoughts down on paper while you're listening. It's almost like brain dumping while you're listening to a lecture, and connecting different ideas together. And it's really one of those tools that can be used a lot in special education. for individuals who need accommodations, because we need to recognize that not everybody processes information the same way. We don't take notes the same way. And sometimes we need that release, right? We can't all do the same strategies because we are all different people.
Yes.
So I am trying to pull this up. We will see if it wants to cooperate. It does not look like it wants to cooperate, but that's okay. With that, so with this podcast, we'll actually give you a link to some of those sketch note-taking examples so that you can check that out on your own. And I also am gonna, for those of you who are watching us live on video broadcast, go out and take a look at this article that Josie has written, The Benefits of Brain Dumping. Go to euc2experience.org/blog. Josie, do you want to leave us with any last words on brain dumping? Anything that you found really interesting in the research that you were doing?
One thing I found really interesting is just how nice it is to have a place to refer back to, a place to check off the things that you've done, the things you need to do, and really just how this drives you to complete more tasks and be more productive.
That's awesome. I know I usually like to done list because I like to see what I've done and not what I have to do. And it's just like, gives me that sense of release and accomplishment. So with that, we thank you, Josie, for joining us again. We look forward to our next podcast that is going to be coming up very shortly, in video podcast that we're going to be doing. But for now, thank you, listeners, for joining us in to Inspiring Generations with Dr. Colito, joined by Josie McRoberts. Take care.